You know, what's funny is I've recorded this intro like 5 times now, but I have to get it right. And the thing about it is, like, it's only a pretend kind of intro because I don't even really need to introduce what you're about to hear. But it is a bunch of things that I've recorded in the past month while we've been on hiatus. And I'm not going to spoil anything for you. So I'm just giving you a disclaimer that what you're about to hear has already been, like, recorded like weeks ago, if not days, but things you probably would have heard if you were a Patreon member of the Indoob podcast. But hey, whatever, just go check it out, enjoy it, because you haven't heard it yet, so I'm not going to tell you, so just sit back and enjoy the show.
3S FX presents the indoob podcast with your host, T. Sterling Watson.
Good morning, Indoobians! I'm T. Sterling Watson. What's your name?
Kendrick.
I can't hear you.
Kendrick!
This is the Indoob Podcast. Thank you for stopping by and pressing play. We're recording live from the little new Indoobia, in the kitchen in little new Indoobia. Yeah, well, yeah, you know where you are. How are you doing today?
Good.
What?
Good.
Good, thank you. Microphone is here.
Good!
Oh, wow. Okay, you didn't have to yell in it, but okay. Great. You have to ask me how I'm doing.
How are you doing?
I'm well, thank you very much. What's been going on? What's new? What's happening?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know.
You could just leave it there. Thank you so much. You're auditioning to replace my co-host. I'm kidding, of course. She's off preparing for her lovely wedding. You remember when Mommy and I got married? Yeah. You're supposed to sing a song.
What song?
I don't know. You were gonna try to pick a song to sing for us.
Oh.
You forgot?
Oh wait, at a wedding?
Yeah, at the wedding.
I was too nervous.
You too nervous?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll let it go this time. I'll let it go this time. So, we will continue and go on with our regularly scheduled program for our Black History Fact for today. Yes?
Yes.
I would play a little jingle, but I don't have that with me right now.
Oh.
I know. One of the greatest African rulers, like he was a king and everything, his name was Mansa Musa. Can you say that? Mansa?
Mansa Musa?
Yep. And he led the Mali Empire at the height of its power and creativity. He was very smart and very creative. He directly controlled the price of gold, and he has been described as the richest person in human history.
Wow.
Like, he had all of the money. All of it.
It's not fair.
I know. I understand. I feel your pain, too. I wish I had all the money, too. But he had so much money that, like I said, they believe that he was the richest person ever. Even richer than Elon Musk. You know who that is?
Yeah.
Yeah? Who's Elon Musk?
I forgot.
You forgot. Okay. Well, since we were talking about him, we'll talk about space! Do you like space? What do you like about space?
World?
The world?
Yeah.
Well, think beyond the world, like outside of the world.
Like the atmosphere.
The atmosphere?
Yes.
That's still part of the world. Go bigger. Go outside of the world, like the moon.
The moon?
The moon? Do you like the moon, or are you just saying the moon because I said the moon?
Like the moon.
What do you like about the moon? What is it made out of?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Wait. What about the ring of?
The ring?
It's made of rocks and sand.
Mm-hmm. Do you know what planets those has rings?
I forgot what it's called.
There's a few of them.
I forgot.
one of Saturn that has the most rings.
That's the word. No.
Yeah, it's very pretty. It's a beautiful planet. You never want to go there, though. No.
Well, I do like the sun because it's very hot.
And it gives you life. Well, it gives the planet life. It is hot, yes.
You don't want to go there.
You don't want to go there either. No. And
if you go too close to it.
correct. Yes, it's too hot.
Looks like I'll be back.
All right. Well, he's going to be back, and I'm going to vamp while he does whatever he does. So, space is great. I do enjoy it thoroughly. Well, I don't want to go out there because space will kill you. And I think Jupiter's always been fascinating because it's the biggest. Oh, you found it. He found whatever it is that he was looking for.
Wait, no, I did not.
Okay, he lied. He did not find whatever he was looking for.
I lied.
We could move on to another subject, but I think he's still looking for something that's related to... That's space-related, yes. But yes, as I was saying, Jupiter, I guess, would be maybe my favorite planet if I had to choose, other than Earth. I love Earth. And Jupiter...
I said I'm not finding it.
You can't find it. What were you looking for?
Picture what you made about space.
Oh,
remember?
I do remember, yes. And I drew some random planets, and I think you drew, like, maybe some aliens.
I drew the same thing as you.
Yes, you did, yes. Asteroids.
Yes.
Yes. Are you familiar with them?
Yes.
Do you like them?
Yes.
Why do you like asteroids? They're out to get us. They want to end our life. Why do you like the asteroids? Why?
I do like the meteors too.
They want to get us. They're out to destroy us. Why? Why do you like them?
I just like how like they fall. It's a shooting star.
It's pretty.
Yeah.
Have you seen one? Do you know if you've seen one? Yeah. They're nice. I'm not sure if I've seen one yet. It's possible I have. I just didn't realize, like, oh, was that a shooting star? But, and then, of course, there's that time I saw a bunch of satellites flying around. You know what satellites are?
Yeah.
Yeah? What's a satellite?
They're like these things white. Not with us, but they do something.
That's about right. We'll move on. We'll move on to the next thing.
They do something.
I'll say I would have
I think I've
Sheboygan.
learned about space in school yet.
Oh, okay. Well, this is your advanced, like, beginner's class of space. There's space, everything out in space, everything floats around. There's no air, so you have to bring your air with you from Earth, so you can breathe.
Like oxygen tank.
Yes, oxygen. Yes. Oh, that's Chief. He's just getting in his bed. That's what all the jingles are. So, and your mom is in the background making food. Yes. Have you heard of a place called Sheboygan?
No.
No? Sheboygan is a lovely little town in Wisconsin. You know Wisconsin?
No.
Wisconsin is a state out in the middle of the country. What state do you live in?
United States.
That's the country. What state do you live in?
Number in.
That's the city. What state do you live in?
I forgot. Connecticut.
There you go. Good job. All right. Now we're getting somewhere. So, several hours it takes to get to Sheboygan, and they are a lake town. So, but they also really like sausages. Although they call them bratwurst over there. But
Yuck.
that's right. You don't like sausages. You might though. One day. You know, when you get older. What is your favorite food now?
Pizza, fries, pizza, fries, pizza, fries, pizza, hot dogs.
And occasionally fish and chicken. Occasionally. And some veggies. That'll help too. Good. Trying to think of the word of the day. You have a word over there for the word of the day? Oh, my mind went blank. Thank you for breaking up the radio silence. Thank you so much.
Libations.
Oh, right.
Or libations.
Libations or libation. Do you know what libation means? No? You want to take a guess?
No.
No? Okay. Libation just means beverage, something to drink, which you just were doing. This, whatever this was, it was a libation.
It was iced tea.
It was iced tea? So what was the iced tea? What's the fancy word we just learned?
Libation.
Libation. Say it again.
Libation. Libation.
There you go. Good job. Good job. So we're wrapping up this episode now, and what I like to do is just take a moment and think about something I'm grateful for. So what are you grateful for? You've got a lot of stuff. What are you happy that you have?
Everything.
Name one thing.
Mommy and you.
I am grateful for salmon. We've got some salmon now, finally. And I'm grateful for you too, yes. Yes, I love you very much.
What about Mommy?
I'm thinking about it. I am very grateful for my lovely wife who's making her gnocchi. So, gnocchi. If you were to recommend something that our good listeners would listen to or watch or read, what do you want them to check out? What is your recommendation? Don't tap that because people can hear that too. What do you want? Like, hey, you just met Holden on the street. You want him to check out this thing. What do you want him to check out?
I want him to check out my favorite toy.
Okay, what's that?
Pokemon cards.
Your Pokemon cards?
And my Beyblades.
Yeah.
Everything.
Well, we'll go with the first two. That's your recommendation. Okay.
And my Hot Wheels.
What have you watched lately?
Yes, what have you watched lately? That's usually what we go for, is what we watched.
YouTube.
Anything specific? Maybe like Turbo Toy Time? Or Turbo Toy Time?
Turbo. Okay, that's what it is.
That's what it is?
It was just in my mind, but I forgot.
Well, we'll take that recommendation into consideration.
What have you read lately?
Or how about, as you're thinking about that?
Well, let's do the name of them.
You mean name of them?
Yeah.
I don't know what the name of them is.
What you talking about, Liz?
What about the book that you read? What did?
Your sisters.
Huh? The what?
What's his movie?
Oh, Hocus Pocus.
Yes.
Oh, Hocus Pocus?
Yeah.
One or two?
One or
The first one or the new one we just watched the other day?
the old one.
The old one? Mommy would agree. All right. Well, that is your recommendation, Hocus Pocus 2, but also Pokemon cards and Beyblades. And what did you read today?
I read it.
Read.
I read yesterday.
You wrote it down right over there.
It's a biggie book. It's a biggie. Biggie. With a B.
Biggie.
Yes.
What's Biggie? Piggy.
It's a biggie book with Gerald and Piggy.
I read a Biggie book, and both of them were called Okay, so both of the books. So yesterday I read. I really love Slop.
Okay. And then today?
And then today I had. Today. Oh wait. Today. I read. Today. Today I will fly.
Oh, okay. There you go. We got there. Good job. All right. Good job.
And I have a reading pencil.
You have a reading pencil. I see it. I will recommend the Wakanda comic book. I believe it's a mini series. Huh? What? You have more? What else?
I have a comic book.
You have a comic book too?
Yes, remember?
Oh, you just remember? I know.
You read it for me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where is it?
Yeah, I got it for you.
Where is it?
I don't know. It's somewhere in your room. Oh, is it over there?
It's either over there or I think it's over there though.
Oh.
It's in one of the bookshelves.
Well, what I'm recommending is the comic book that just came out last week, I believe. It's called Wakanda, written by my good friend Stephanie Williams. And I believe it's a miniseries and a 5-part miniseries at that. So, yeah, I suggest checking that out and giving that a read, a purchase, and all that good stuff. Did I? Yeah, I did say that already. So that'll wrap it up for this episode of the Indoob Podcast. Where can people find if they want to find you? Are you online? Do you have a Twitter?
Don't have anything.
You don't have anything?
Because you're 7, right?
Only 7!
Only 7? Oh, okay. All right. You can find me on all things at indoob, indoob.com. And remember, I'm skipping a whole bunch of things, but let me just read it because I've lost my train of thought because your little face over there. You're not even. Are you okay? You still thinking about what you're trying to remember?
I'm sorry.
Oh, never mind.
You never mind? Okay. Well, you've been listening to the Indoob Podcast. Thank you for stopping by and pressing play. Please remember to wash your dishes, the undersides of your dishes, your face, the bottoms of your feet, all of that stuff.
Legs.
Oh, right. Wash your legs.
Between the toes.
Private
in between
spots.
Okay, and your private spots.
My no-no squares.
All of that.
My no-no squares.
Your no-no squares. Is that what you said?
Penis and my butt.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Private parts?
He said that already, but then he said no-no squares.
No-no squares. When did you learn about a no-no square? At school?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
Yeah, because now what I'm seeing is like a censored image, but they're like blocks that are,
Blocks.
like actual squares. So,
Blocks.
yeah.
No.
Right.
You don't
correct.
touch that.
Exactly. So yeah, that does it, and I cannot remember the rest of the closing, but I will just do the last line. And remember, if the world didn't suck, we'd all fall off henceforth and forevermore. And everyone said, Amen.
Amen.
And if the world was going towards the sun, we would die.
That is also true. Yes. Amen.
And if the sun was coming toward here, we would all die too.
That is very true. Amen.
Sing about the moon, right?
I already said that.
Moonfall. Oh boy.
Wow.
Hi, my name is Magdalena Riley, and recently I had some thoughts about a topic that fascinates me greatly, and that topic is, did you know? And following that will be a topic we'll be discussing today with my first ever guest.
Great and wonderful, powerful, T. Sterling Watson of the Indoob land. I'm sorry, not Indoob land. I mispronounced my own country of origin. It's Induubia, land of positivity and happy things and nonsense.
I wanted to ask you today, did you know the history of the fork?
No, I do not know.
I don't know if you knew what the spikes on the fork are called.
Oh my God, it was on the tip of my tines.
Okay, I think you're the first person I maybe asked who knows that, and I don't know, how do you know that? How does anybody know that?
See, this is why Indoob is the place to be, because there's just random bits of things that I know, and I have no other place to put them. So, or just to display and like, oh yeah, so by the way, I stabbed myself with one of the tines of my favorite fork. So, and then it just leads to more questions like, why just one of them, not why all 4 or 3, because there are some forks that have 3 tines, and that's probably why I know what they're called, is because I saw a 3-tined fork and it probably said that.
So I'm glad you actually let us know how to say it, because I wasn't sure if it's tines, I guess it's tines.
In my head, there's an E at the end of it, so I would
unless it's tennis, but tennis sounds like a very poor pronunciation of tennis or some kind of skin disease, but I'm thinking of tinea.
Like tinnitus, like a
Ah,
smaller
yes, that's another
smaller
one.
version of, or like less degrading version of tinnitus.
Mm. Although tinnitus is when your ear is degrading, or at least from the inside, your
Hmm.
your ability to interpret sound,
That's right.
which sometimes you would use a tuning fork to find.
Now we're back to our main topic of forks. So what I thought was hilarious was we all know of the spork, right? Which
Mhm.
is spoon, fork. Like that's just middle school for me. That's just like growing up going to public school lunch for me. But did you
Well,
know?
let me jump in real quick. I have adulted and have metal sporks.
Wait, they have metal sporks?
I have four of them.
Where do you get a metal spork from?
I got it from my mother-in-law because she bought us a whole like cutlery set, and these were included as I was unwrapping because spoons kept going missing, and I'm like, let me just unwrap these other spoons. Like, oh, these aren't spoons. These have tines on them as well as scooping abilities. So occasionally, I just use that to eat dinner with because sometimes it's better to get the rice all up in the little scoop and then stab the chicken afterwards. So it's versatile.
Wait, would you still call it tines if to me like spork teeth look like, when you cut like the
Teeth.
pumpkin, like I still call forks having teeth. So
Hmm.
let's say those teeth, tines, would a spork still have the teeth tines? Because to me it looks
I
like those
don't,
triangle things that you do for like a pumpkin when you carve the teeth.
I don't see why it would change because the purpose hasn't changed.
Okay, well, did you know there is also a sporf?
A sporf?
Yeah, a sporf, a
Oh,
knife, spoon, and a fork.
it sounds like a mushroom farting.
But wait, there's more. Did you know there's also a nork? Yeah, it's a knife fork.
So it's a fork that you probably, I mean, people already use their fork to cut things, but this probably has like a serrated edge, which makes it very dangerous to eat. And I don't think I would want to eat with this fork. Nork?
We have the spork, the nork, and the sporf.
I don't like it.
So if you had to choose one, okay, a one utensil that you would be using because you're like on a secluded island, which one would you choose?
It would definitely be a spork. I already know how to use it. I know what to use it with. Anything I need to cut, I'm probably not going to because I'd probably be there all day just hacking away at it. I'm like, nope, not going to do this. So I will just spork my way through life. You can print that on a t-shirt. I will wear it.
Hmm. Yeah, it's very decisive, it sounds like.
Spork is my final answer.
All right, spork it is. But you know me, I'm a minimalist, so I think I would have to choose sporf.
Now, just so I'm clear, that's all three of them combined.
Yeah.
Anytime you combine the knife with any other the other utensils, it's not a good fit.
But wait, okay, I bet you I haven't looked up the image of it yet. I think a sporf is a spork on one side and the knife on the other side, and they probably like fold up like a pocket knife.
If you have one of those, you don't need a spork, you don't need a spoon, fork, because you have all of those things in your utility thing.
Okay, last question. Have you ever eaten food that usually would be eaten with a utensil, but with your hands?
I currently have a child who just turned 7, and he still will eat with his hands. And there are times that it's like, oh, I don't really want to dirty up a knife, or not a knife, but like a fork or a spoon, and I just want just a few rice just to test, just to make sure that it still tastes good or it's whatever. So the answer is yes. I have as a child, and I'm not ashamed to admit that I would as an adult.
I saw a funny video on the internet regarding this. It just made me laugh so much. A man is standing in traffic on a motorcycle, and it looks like it's a really, really hot day, and he has groceries like hanging off of his handlebars. And he takes out like, the gallon container of ice cream and like uses the lid to start eating it because it's melting. And it got me thinking, like, when was a time when I ate something because I didn't have a utensil? What did I use to eat it with? If it wasn't just my hands or like tipping that container.
I think with some of those things, I will just, if ice cream, for example, I more than likely will wait until I can refreeze it because I really don't like melty, soupy ice cream.
Hmm.
So yeah, there are times that, you just make do with what you have if you have nothing. Not a problem. I don't see a problem here.
So, because this is the first ever episode, if you have an idea for a Did You Know episode, I will ask anybody who's on the episode to suggest a topic for the next person to discuss with me.
The history of cardboard.
Okay, there it is. The history of cardboard. This is the first episode of Did You Know with T. Sterling Watson from Indubia at indoob.com. Check it out.
Just Google Indoob. You'll find my lovely podcast where you get to learn a bunch of other nonsense or not all of it's nonsense. Some of it's interesting things.
I wanted to add at the end that we actually did not discuss any facts about the fork besides the various variations of a fork morphing into other utensils. And I wanted to tell people about this awesome resource called the History Guy on YouTube. And he has a video called The Forgotten History of the Fork. It's quite fascinating. It's 12 minutes of awesome facts, one of which I thought was interesting because if you're going to become a spy and go to a different country, I want you to know that in America versus, let's say, in Europe, people hold their fork and knife when cutting on a plate differently and then proceed to take food in differently as well, meaning the fork is facing a different direction. The tines are facing a different direction depending where you're from. And the fork was controversial and wasn't really standardized in America until the 18th century. And there's so many more facts from this awesome channel. And I encourage anybody to research common day objects and their history because I think it's fascinating that we have all these objects around us today, but we all know that they just came from somewhere. Something had to happen down the road in order for these items to come into our life. And this also encourages me because I like to think of myself as an innovator. Don't we all have ideas we want to share and make real into the world? You know, when you have an idea and it becomes a tangible thing, well, that's really exciting. And I think innovation should not go out of style. So again, thanks so much for listening. This is Magdalena, over and out.
Good morning, Indubians. I am T. Sterling Watson.
And I'm Courtney.
And this is a very special episode about what movie? Oh, the Moonfall. Moonfall. There's no the.
The Moonfall.
Right. It is for those who have listened to the most recent episode, Courtney recommended that movie to us, or to me, to watch, or actually no, to all of us. And hopefully you all watched it because that's what we're going to talk about. Because I watched it and I watched it with Ashley, and I mean, she actually got into it and actually sat up and we were conversing, but also making jokes because, well, I mean, again, if you've listened to the last episode, you kind of know that, you know, it's not a movie to be taken seriously. So
no, it's not.
It isn't.
But
it isn't.
That also makes it beautiful and great.
Agreed. And it definitely had a cinematic disaster beauty to it. Not because it's a disastrous film, which, but because it is a disaster film and just, you know, oh, the earth is, you know, being destroyed. And it's, wouldn't you know it, by one of the greatest auteurs of our time of disaster films. What is it? Roland Emmerich? Let me try to find his name.
That sounds right. Roland something.
Yeah, I can usually get his last name, but it's his first name because I don't want to get it confused with the guy who wrote Charlie or Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Or is it Charlie and Chocolate Factory? The actual book.
It's
a test. It's a test.
And I'm failing. I thought it was like rolled. Maybe it is rolled.
Yeah, I think it is rolled. Rolled.
Rolled. Yeah.
Rolled. It's Roald. Rolled. Like I feel like because every time I saw his name, I feel like it's missing letters. So yeah. Roald Dahl. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds like you got a bunch of marbles in your mouth when you try to say his name.
Yep.
Exactly, like a dog, like just a dog growling at you. And it's like, oh, you mean the guy who wrote the book? Yes. But yes, Roland Emmerich is the director's name who has brought us such classics like Independence Day and 2012 and this movie, Moonfall, because of course it's right up his alley. Like, how can we destroy Earth this time, or specifically New York City, which I can't remember. Did they have any scenes in New York City?
I do not recall any New York City. Well, and I feel like if the characters were, I feel like New York was involved some way, but it wasn't like a grand scheme, like a grand, like a outside shot of New York. If anything, it was just, hey, I'm in New York and I'm in an office building or something. But I don't even know if there was that.
Right, and I'm failing to remember because I mean he's famous for destroying New York City several times over.
Yeah.
The Day After Tomorrow is the other one, the other big one that I'm kind of forgetting. But and of course Godzilla.
I feel like if we were in New York City in the movie, we'd remember because of the establishing like building shots and stuff like that. But yeah,
you're right, and a lot of it took place in some snowy place. I think I want to say LA.
Maybe
I could be
California.
confusing it with 2012. Right. It probably California. Because I'm really struggling to remember exactly where it took place. I could possibly be parts of Florida because they were trying to shoot off the shuttle. Geography didn't always make sense because of like, how did you get here already? And how are you in the bunker now? Or where is this mountain that you're going to? Which I think was in the middle of the country because they had to get to the highlands because
that
the tides.
Colorado. Was it not Colorado?
If they were going to Colorado, they were there in like 2 hours from
it was real
Florida.
Quick.
Yeah.
It was stupidly quick.
Exactly. Which again, just in the fact that I wasn't thinking about it is probably why I can't recall where this was taking place. But the fact that everybody kind of got together at one central location. I don't know. They had to be on a coast. That's all I know. They had to be on a coast because I know they were at some observatory at the beginning of the movie because of the ancient aliens dude who I want to call him whatever his name was from not Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones, because that's the only place I kind of recognize him from. The guy with the glasses who was like, hey, by the way, spoiler alert, the moon is actually like a spaceship. Is that a good way to? Is
that who that was? Hodor?
No, not Hodor. The other guy. No.
Well, he looked familiar, but I couldn't place him. And I was like, well, maybe he's just an unknown, actor or something.
His name is John Bradley, but I'm trying to get the character's name from Game of Thrones, which is probably not going to give it to me right away because he wasn't like the main star.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I got to keep scrolling through to find him. But I mean, he's a beloved guy, Samwell. See, I really wanted to call him Sam or Samwell, but I wasn't sure because I didn't want to get confused with Lord of the Rings and that dude's name, Frodo's friend.
Oh, Samwise.
Samwise. See, I just have to trust my gut sometimes because I knew. See the Sams, because those Sams, they're really loyal, dependable. If you got a dog out there or you're planning on getting a dog, name it Sam because loyalty. That was a little tangent there, but yes, Samwell. And that's what I'm going to call him now from now on. But yeah, he was kind of the heart of the movie, the true believer. The one they ridiculed, they laughed at, but find out he was right all along. So
yeah,
there was that. There was also, I guess, the main villain, which the trailers made it seem like the moon was the villain, but there was actually something within the moon that was like, I'm going to take over. It was AI that was taking over and going to destroy anything that had the bio residence. I struggle. I'm grasping at words that they're just like, I know what I want to say, but they're not there. Where are they? So, but feel free to jump in.
Well, I don't know if you're explaining it right, but basically, are you trying to explain what the moon actually is? We've kind of already spoiled it, but are we going deeper than that too?
Yeah, we are, because of what the moon is and what was taking over the moon and why it was crashing to Earth.
Is AI basically. So essentially, the moon, we discover along with the characters is that it is a superstructure. Basically, it was built by, I said AI, but it's probably not AI, but just
like
an
advanced
alien,
humans,
like
perhaps?
advanced, well, or just an advanced civilization.
Okay.
I think the story did tell us that like our ancestors were like millions of times more advanced than where we are now, and so they did build it, or did the AI build it? It is AI, because remember in the movie, like humans created AI, but then the AI decided to turn against them. And I think the good AI, who still was like, we love humans, they were like, let's create a superstructure. So I don't know if the humans created it or if the AI did it, or like in conjunction with one another. But I think AI created it, and they run it, and basically that moon was used to take, DNA or something to the new Earth when the bad AI
Revolted
all the
basically.
humans. They revolted and killed all the humans. And then like the moon, the superstructure of the moon, was sent to a whole different part of the galaxy, and that's where and found Earth, and that's where we started over. So yeah, it's basically like Noah's Ark for us, essentially.
And there were several of these superstructures, but like the bad AI got to them before they were able to go anywhere.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yes.
Yeah, so that was the one that got away was the one that spawned us on Earth, because they had to find a suitable planet that we could live on. So yeah. So it was deep, but it's still kind of, and I'm sure it boggles your mind as well, but how Daniel was able to figured all that part out.
So he didn't figure all of it out, but he basically saw it. Now it was later on in the movie. So, he didn't see it like the first scene and he's like, oh, this is what happened. But he saw enough of it. I think he saw the explanation part of it, or like the part where AI was revolting against humans. And then he was like, oh, and the moon is falling. And he was like, oh, so it's probably a superstructure or a ship of some sort, or like aliens. But somehow, and apparently he was familiar with the superstructure. I think that's what it's called, superstructure, where, folks believe that the moon is hollow on the inside and it's fake. And, he's aware of that theory and that belief. And so I think he kind of took the very little bit of AI, but very little of information about the AI and like humans as like our ancestors, took that from the movie, and then heard about the moon being a superstructure and like put the two together. And I was like, are you freak? I mean, it happened so quickly. And it just, I still want him to watch the movie though, because it probably will. I think I spoiled the rest of it because there's some parts he didn't get right or didn't guess, but
okay. I thought he figured out like the whole twist.
No. Well, he basically figured out the whole twist, but there was like specific details. No, but it's crazy because I can't think of it now. It's been a couple weeks, and I've stewed in my anger long enough, so I have to let it go. But he basically, there's specific things. I think he used the word arc. He used the word. There were like specific words that he used that they later used in the movie as they continued to explain it. Because at that point, the movie hadn't explained everything. They just gave us like enough to kind of be like, oh, the moon really is hollow. Oh no, is it AI out? And then that's kind of all I think he had seen or that I had seen. But then when they go to, explain more about humanity's history, like their early history, and he just, I just basically kicked him out. I said, get out of here. Just go.
It's the worst. It's
You're
terrible.
the worst.
Now, I want to say that Ashley does the same or at least similar things where she, if anything, may not necessarily be surprised that something happens. But I'm not sure if she will exactly guess based on like what's happened so far. And I don't believe she did it with this one because she was more so like, what is happening in this movie?
Yeah.
So as well as, us making kind of jokes because we knew what kind of movie we were into or we were getting into. So yeah, there was that. I mean, there was just, and you nailed it pretty much head on where there's a whole bunch of exposition so we can move along with the plot. Cause I'm like, let's get to the moon already. And I mean, they did, I'll give them this. They did try several times and things either kept happening. Then all of a sudden everybody left. And then before you know, it was just two people left. I'm like, really? You guys cleared out that fast? Like, okay.
Yeah.
Gravity being weird where I mean, again, it's a movie. Turn off your brain.
Well,
like,
apparently, because I was like, I wonder if this could happen. And then Daniel's like, absolutely not. That's impossible. No, it can't happen.
Because there's the other movie it made me think of, which of course throws all logic out, is this movie called not Melancholy, but it looks sad and depressing because it is sad and depressing. And it stars Kirsten Dunst, who for years couldn't get her name right. And I think it's Melancholy. I'm looking it up right now so I can not butcher this title. As it loads. Oh yeah, that's what it is. Melancholia. Anyway, it's like two Earths that are kind of slowly coming together. I've never seen this movie because it just looks super depressing. But she's basically just being sad and depressed and like, oh, I'm going to die anyway because the second Earth is going to, crash into me or crash into us.
Yeah.
And that also is on HBO Max as well. Wouldn't you know?
Crazy. I guess I'm going to have to watch it.
Yeah, and
after the core though.
Right, because I wanted to ask you, I wanted to check because I gave you that assignment, then I reminded you like last week, I think. So it sounds as if you did not watch it yet.
I didn't watch it yet.
Okay, no. All right. Because I mean, I would definitely watch that one first because that one is much more enjoyable than what Melancholia looks like it would be.
Melancholia,
yeah, Melancholia, yeah. Because I mean, even this director, he's known to make some really sad sacks of sadness. So, and the director is Lars van Trier. So, I can't say I've seen too many of his movies, but I do know you usually leave pretty depressed. So, there's that.
Well, that sucks.
It does. But I mean, and I'm not recommending this film only because I have not seen it myself. So I'm not recommending it. But just the fact that planets are colliding. So that's kind of what's happening here. Sorry, I just wanted to breeze right through to see, did I watch any of his movies? And I guess I kind of did. I've seen parts of Nymphomaniac. So yeah, I've seen some of his stuff.
That seems different than Melancholia.
It's still depressing. I'll say that much.
Yeah.
The other movie I'm thinking of, I believe, is Earth 2. And again, physics are thrown out the window because I don't remember if that was a movie that way when Saturday Night Sci-Fi was still kind of new. And we were, live tweeting. I'm not sure if that was a movie that we saw then, or even if you saw it during the live tweet that was happening. And it's basically just a second Earth. And not that it was colliding, but they were getting close enough to each other, but nothing gravitational was happening, or I don't even know why it was happening. And because of that movie, I did actually get to interact with, there's this woman who plays a saw as an instrument, and we kind of interacted a little bit. So that was fun.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So not so much disaster. but I think I prefer the disaster movies that mankind is not quite related to it. But then again, these were aliens and AI, but still, I don't know. It was a different kind of film to kind of just chew on.
Yeah.
Without overthinking it too much. Like, oh, well, that happened. And they saved the moon.
Yeah.
Now the moon is back where it needs to be. Right. It did go back,
they
right?
did save the moon. It did go back. I think what did they do? Because it was, okay, so the bad AI and the good AI were like in the moon still. Like, and the good AI did something. I don't know. But the people got out. Two of them got out. Halle Berry, which honestly I didn't realize it was her for way too long. It was a good 10 minutes, maybe 15. Because I was like, God, this movie is really bad. And that lady.
Oh,
really
so that is why
Berry.
That's why you didn't think it was her?
Yeah, I didn't think it was her, but then I forget she's been in some really terrible movies too. She's been in some terrible movies. And so I was like, I don't know. It looked like her, but it didn't for some reason to me. And then finally I was like, let me just see who's in this movie, who plays this woman who looks just like Halle Berry. And sure enough, it was her. Sure enough. Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't, I'm not saying her performance was bad, but I guess it wasn't good either, but nobody's really was. It's just people were making choices that I just did not understand. Like the people who were the robbers, who were driving around the trucks and stealing people's cars and just like, give me your stuff. Like, dude, why? Like the world is about to end. Just go somewhere else. Like, why are you robbing folks on the street or even out in the woods? And it didn't make sense to me why that was happening. And then you just kind of knew like, oh, you're going to get, sucked up from moon's gravity or something's bad's going to happen to you. So it was predictable in that way. Not that I was mad about it. I'm like, well, I mean, you be mean and bad things are going to happen to you. So
yeah. True facts.
So that it was just weird that was a plot point, or that was something that happened. The fact that all the air got sucked out at some point, I thought that was weird.
Yeah, it had something to do with, I thought, gravity. Maybe not. Don't give me the lying. Maybe like the altitude, because they were up in the mountains, but I don't remember why they were going up in the mountains.
Well, that's where the bunker was.
Well, sure, but why? I don't know.
Well, I think they had to go to higher ground because of the tides that were coming in and sweeping away all the cities.
because of gravity,
right,
or something. because the moon was weird and not only affecting gravity, but like, well, I guess since the moon controls kind of the tides or has a huge, you know what I'm saying?
I do, yes.
It doesn't control them, but greatly influences them.
Indeed.
Gotcha.
That part is absolutely true. So
that is true, yes.
As for the effects that would actually happen, I figure we would have to find like a science educator to explain like this is what would really happen. Probably a lot more death and destruction. Yes, definitely the moon falling apart, just crashing onto Earth. Yes, I can probably believe that happening because, I mean, why not? But the fact that it would just come close and then go away and then come close again, that part was amusing to me. Well, oh no, the thing that really got me is that the moon itself became this ominous character, like, oh no, the moon is coming, and it just crept up over the mountains, and then like
it's so strange.
It was so bizarre, but also hilarious, but also terrifying,
and dumb, but also like really good.
Right, that part
at the same time.
That part, like, I feel like if I were in the theater, I probably would have burst into laughter, but also like, this is incredible. I love it. I'm terrified of the moon right now because it's coming to get me. And that's, I think, when I probably turned to Ashley and we have an ongoing joke. It's a throwaway reference from Robot Chicken. Now, if you've ever watched Robot Chicken, you would know that it's a show designed for people like with ADD, I feel like, because they're very quick. And I'm just explaining it to people who've never seen it. And the sketches are very quick, very short. Sometimes they're like only a few seconds. One of which is my favorite sketch, is and there's somebody running away from this clown, and the clown is just like, I'm gonna get you, and that's all that it is. He's just terrifying this one person who's running away, and that's all it happens. So I do that to Ashley all the time. So now when the moon is showing up, I say it again because the moon is coming. And the moon is like, I'm gonna get you. So
wow.
And I was like, I timed it perfectly without ever having seen this film before. And just as soon as I said it, and as soon as I finished saying it, that's when that clip of the moon like hunting goes off. So I'm like, wow, brilliant. So yeah, we had our fun watching this film. So I'm glad we watched it at home, because we probably would have annoyed like so many people had we been in the theater, unless they were joining us. So there's also that.
Well, and it's nice to not have to pay for this movie like for full price also.
Right.
That's where I'm coming from with this one.
Although I will say that it was a possibility that I almost went to go see it in theaters. Really? Yes.
I didn't know it was a movie. Well, okay, I had heard about it, but I was like, Moonfall, okay, whatever, and moved on with my life. And then I saw it on HBO, and I was like, I could watch that. Just why not? Kill some time, you know?
Well, I saw the trailer when I went to go see Spider-Man No Way Home. And from that point, I'm like, what a concept. Where the moon is falling on Earth. Tell me more. And then as it kind of, you see a little bit more within the trailer, I'm like, okay. I mean, you already kind of lost me a little bit. Like, is the moon itself an entity that is like, I'm going to get you? Or what is, or is it just, what is happening? Like, I kind of wished, based on the trailer, that it was some cosmic event where the moon is suddenly thrown off its orbital or its orbit, and now is going to be crashing into Earth. And how do we deal with it as humanity? That's not what this movie is.
No, and that's I did not see it coming, because that's what I thought it was. I was like, dang, did another planet crash into the moon? Did an asteroid? What's happening? No, none of those things. Not even close. You're wrong if you thought that. I was wrong.
Right. So was I. But then again, I kind of started gathering this based on, again, the trailer. And then later I listened to a podcast where they actually talked about the movie, hence how I knew what was going to happen before you told me, and then before I actually watched it for myself. And it was still ridiculous. I say all that to say, because when you do watch the core, that is an event that has nothing to do with mankind. So yes. I mean,
are you spoiling things for me?
I mean, not much. Not really, no, because all you know is the title, and you know it's a disaster film. I'm just saying humans aren't involved. Okay.
That'll work.
At least I don't think they are. Now I have to go watch it myself. I haven't watched this movie in years. Like it's been since maybe even high school. And I keep saying to myself, okay, one day I'm gonna sit down and watch it with Ashley, make her watch it, because I'm pretty sure she's never seen it. And another thing that would make her want to watch it, see, the opposite of Moonfall, she does not care for Halle Berry, even though she really had no comments, no, whatever. She already says that she doesn't believe she can act. Whatever. Moving on. The core has Stanley Tucci in it.
What?
And she loves Stanley Tucci.
It does, and it has Hilary Swank, apparently. Has Alfre Woodard even.
Yes.
Wow.
Okay.
I know those names.
Is it Delroy Lindo? Yes. He's in it too. Because anytime I see him, I'm kind of like, okay, this movie might not be too bad. And I'm not saying it's a good movie or a great movie, even though I do own it on DVD, because I just felt like, hey, I got a thing. I like disaster movies. Would I own Moonfall? Probably not. Not in this day and age of streaming. But if it came out back when DVDs were all the rage, probably still maybe not.
Maybe. I don't know. You gotta have some bad movies in there to, I don't know, watch on the rainy Saturday night.
I suppose. And you say that, and I'm thinking, like, whenever I showed off my DVD collection to people and they would go through it, I would always think of the worst movies I might have in my collection, which would, the core wouldn't be up there, the first one I think of, but I would think of Master of Disguise, because yes, that is a movie that I own, and I have specific reasons for why I liked that movie.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to defend them right now. I'm trying to think of other movies. I'm like, why do you have this? I think The Animal with Rob Schneider. And I'll say, like, a lot of them is because they're like maybe $2 or $3. So why not? Like I enjoyed this movie the first time I watched it. Would I ever watch it again? Probably not, but I have it in case I do. So that's that. But the core, it's got meat to it.
Okay.
It's got stuff to chew on, and like, oh, so that might happen if this like disastrous event were ever to happen. So so yeah, it's still a firm recommendation based on Moonfall. So if you enjoyed Moonfall for what it is and not for like as we're discussing, then more than likely you're gonna like the core. So
well, I'm in. I still am in. Just
right. Which you texted me in like all capital letters, like, oh, and then I got excited. I was like, oh, she's gonna watch it today. She's gonna watch it right now.
You're wrong.
I was wrong, and I was sad because I mean I meant to follow up with you and I forgot, and then I was like, oh, and now bubbles are bursting because like, oh, we could have totally tied that into our conversation about Moonfall, but alas,
I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
I failed you yet again.
Well, there's still time to make up for it, and the day's not over. The week is not over, so we'll I don't know. I'll keep following up with you until you've seen it.
Nice.
Because I've pushed this movie ahead of The Oval, which I still want you to watch. So that's another disaster of another kind, but we will get to it. So, but yes, that is Moonfall, starring Halle Berry and a bunch of other people. Samwell.
From Game of Thrones, that guy.
You said that guy?
Allegedly. Said that guy from Game of Thrones, allegedly.
Oh no, it is that guy. It is that guy. It's just it's not Hodor. It's Samwell.
Whatever.
Who's on
okay, so is that his his real name or is that his character name?
His real name is something boring like John Bradley or something. So, but Samwell is not the star, but he might as well be, because I mean he's the one who decided to become one with the moon. Yeah, we didn't quite finish telling the story, but he sacrifices himself to blow up the rest of like the bad AI, and then the good AI scans him and his consciousness and uploads him to the moon. And then
they're like ready for the next chapter or whatever they say, and it was like, oh no, it's gonna be amazing,
right? And they kind of set it up to maybe like, hey, we'll leave a little dangling piece here in case we want to come back and do a sequel, which how and why, but that's not questions I need to answer, and I'm not gonna worry about it. So I've got enough on my plate, and I don't need to be worrying about the moon creeping up to get me.
Right. It's definitely not a horror movie though, and
no.
It's very clear that this is crap and it's fake, but it's an entertaining watch.
It truly is. It's not a horror movie like Sunshine would be considered, I think, a horror movie.
Sunshine?
Yes. Sunshine is a movie where the sun is dying, and the smartest of the scientists from all over the globe get onto a rocket or a spaceship to go, I don't know, I think throw nuclear nukes. They have thrown like nukes into the sun to kind of revive it and get it started again. But on the way, some people get like sun madness and start killing each other. So it gets pretty dark, ironically. Yeah.
Someone's going out dark.
Right. And I think that was also another Saturday Night Sci-Fi feature, which is the only way I would have watched it, because I knew of the content, and I knew that it got a little grim, and it stars Peaky Blinders. I mean, we've seen him in a number of things. I can't remember his name, but he plays Scarecrow in the Christopher Nolan version of Batman. And a bunch of other people too. So, and I want to say Chris Evans is in it. See, now I have to look it up, because it's got like a good cast list, but it's also Like, okay, you're not going to make it. Oh, wait, that's the whole thing. The trailer for this movie tells you each of these characters is going to die.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, it legit starts out that way. Or not even starts
That's
out.
crazy.
It does do that.
It goes there. Yeah.
It goes there. So I totally made up a lie because I do not see Chris Evans's name.
Oh,
Nor do I
liar,
see the.
liar.
I know. I'm looking at the wrong movie. This says war drama, and that is not what I'm looking for. What? No. Okay. What movie am I thinking of? If it's not Sunshine, no, not Snowpiercer. Which, by the way, no, this has nothing. This I think has to go into a regular indoob episode. I found some news that they're trying to do something similar to the plot of Snowpiercer.
What?
Yep.
With the moon doing things?
Yep. Oh wait, no, it has nothing to do with the moon. No, they're trying to make snow happen, try to freeze the ice caps a bit more. And yeah. So I found it. It is called Sunshine. There is a 1999 movie called Sunshine. That's the war drama. I'm talking about the 2007 film Sunshine.
Gotcha.
With Cillian Murphy or Killian Murphy. Killian? Yeah. And Michelle. Wow, there's a lot of people in here that are kind of big names now. Like I'm sure they were big before, but they're bigger now. We got Chris Evans. He is in it. He dies. Benedict Wong or Wong from Doctor Strange. He dies. Mark Strong. He dies.
Wow.
In fact, he was actually in the other Sunshine movie. Interesting. Anyway, that's another movie for
Down
you.
the rabbit hole you go.
Down the rabbit hole. But I mean, I felt it was not a companion piece, but just another kind of disaster film. And people back on Earth, by the way, they're just cold. They're not freezing, but it's getting colder because the sun is dying. So that's why they're going off to the sun to heat it back up so Earth can survive. So there you go.
But they didn't do that. Did they do that?
I believe their mission was successful because I think it was ultimately was a suicide mission for them. Or I don't think it was meant to be.
Oh,
but yeah, because of, sunshine madness and insanity, people get a little stabby and then like, we got to save the sun or whatever. So
Sunshine Madness, that's not a real thing. That's a movie thing, right?
Something to that effect. I am generalizing and summarizing the best I can from memory without looking up specific details, but there is someone who does go crazy and does start murdering people unless some of them kind of die by their own hand, which does happen. So yeah. So yes, I don't
think it's a real thing, but because I'm looking it up.
Well, it's quite a film, and I know we've talked about quite a few of them. Many of them aren't very happy, like leave you with a sunshiny feeling at the end of it. But
yeah,
there you have it. And but no, the core, that is the one to go watch, and hopefully it'll leave you feeling a little happier. Hopefully.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah.
Whew, good to know. Okay, I'm gonna read Melancholia or whatever that movie. I'm gonna just do the Wikipedia. I don't think I'm in the right place, to watch such a film. So I'm just gonna read about it.
I think I will too, because I don't want to watch it. Like when I first heard about it, I'm like, no. Just simple as that. No.
Yeah.
I'm good because you look sad. This looks sad. This sounds sad.
It looks I
mean, it's in the title. Sad. Melancholia. Like melancholy, which is a lovely word, but still, no. Another word that I really enjoy or like, but also seems to be on the same page is crestfallen. I love that word. Crestfallen.
I love that word as well. So poetic.
It is. But as the moon shall fall and rise again, we will end this podcast. I have no idea what that means, but I'm just trying to wrap it up. And yeah, so go watch The Core, go watch Moonfall if you haven't already. I don't know why you haven't and you're listening to this, but hey, people do it all the time. I listen to a podcast about Moonfall and I hadn't watched it yet. So there you have it. Great. I know. I meant to send that to you and I will do that after we finish this. So
I need to not commiserate, but hear it again. I just need to hear it again.
And all the things that we missed. And that is How Did This Get Made? That is one of my favorite podcasts. Definitely
subscribe to them. Go ahead. I mean, you already listen to us, so yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
You can find me at All Things Indoob. Courtney, do you want to be found anywhere?
I don't. Just leave me alone.
All right, cool. That is a special episode of the Indoob podcast. Thank you so much for stopping by and pressing play and being supportive and being a patron. I thank you from the basements of my heart. Please continue. Please tell your friends. Yeah, and farewell.
The indoob podcast.
And we're back. Well, at least I'm back from my little area here. Just telling you what you had listened to is me and Kendrick doing the episode. And then you also heard from me and Magdalena, or rather Magdalena and I, because she was, giving a pilot run, if you will, of her new podcast that she's working on. And I was her first guest. So that was a lot of fun to do. And then you heard Courtney and I talking about Moonfall, which was something we had wanted to do for a while and I decided to share it with you guys as well. What you were probably looking for was a review for Wakanda Forever, which I'm going to say is probably on the way. It may not necessarily be in the first episode that we do coming back from hiatus, only because I don't want that whole episode being about Wakanda Forever. As brilliant as a film as that was, I kind of want to do like our regular show talking about our regular things and maybe do a special episode just about Wakanda Forever. And it's probably going to be on Patreon, so you might want to go ahead and do that so you can hear that as well as so many other great things that we've discussed, whether that even be from just the Indoob podcast at all, but all the stuff that you heard here except for the Magdalena podcast part. All that's on Patreon, plus so much more. So I feel like you might be missing out. So I just want you to go over there, subscribe, and I'll make sure that there is even more content over there for you to go check out and be entertained by if you need some entertainment in your life. And I'm sure that you do. But like I said, our hiatus is ending soon. I miss all of you. I miss all of the podcasting that I regularly do. Regularly is a difficult word to say quickly for me. Just putting that out there. But I do miss the whole act of podcasting, but again, I'll be back soon. We'll be back better than ever. Sorry, I'm taking people's lines from people I work with now. But yeah, there's some like changes that are happening or need to happen that I'm going to be putting in place because I kind of went back to review some of the older stuff that I put out. I'm like, oh, wait, we're not even really hosted on Podbean anymore. We're on Anchor now. So I need to go back and change that. And, just other little things, little tweaks, stuff that you'll hear in the next episode, not this one. So, again, I just want to thank you so much for listening, for supporting, and telling your friends. And shout out to Black Twitter, too, because that's something that's a big push. Like, I've been hanging out there a lot. It's great. It's a whole lot of fun. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, then that's okay. Again, I will go into greater detail in the episode post-hiatus. And, I've been your benevolent host, T. Sterling Watson. Remember to drink water, wash your whole body. Space is trying to kill you. And if the world didn't suck, we'd all fall off.
Thanks for listening to the Indoob podcast, which was recorded from the south side of Wakanda in Little New Indubia on the corner of T'Chaka and MLK Drive, and is part of the Indoob network. Want more Indoob? Follow on Instagram and Twitter @Indoob and on Facebook @IndoobPod. You can contact us and send Ask Indoob questions by emailing indoobpod@gmail.com. Want to support or donate? Find the T Public Store or become a patron on Patreon, where subscribing gives you perks and extra things from the Indoob network. Please subscribe, rate, comment, and share the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, YouTube, Podbean, and wherever else podcasts are found. And of course, visit indoob.com for all of this and much more. Thank you so much for letting us entertain, enlighten, and provide an auditory escape with knowledge and nonsense. Until next time.
Use your words, Chief. Good boy.
This has been another 3SFX production.